What's going on, guys? It's Yeti Roosevelt back with another edition of SPOOKsquatch with Yeti Roosevelt. If I seem a little off, it is because about half an hour ago I ate this, which is the Pocky One Chip Challenge. That video is already up, and I'm still not feeling great. My stomach is in knots, and right here is honestly still kind of bothering me. But I can't stay out of the bathroom long enough to like sit and watch a horror movie and be able to get one up before midnight, get a review up before midnight. So I'm going to review a movie that I've watched fairly recently, and that is Crawl. Crawl is a creature feature horror film that came out last year, 2019. Excuse me, I told you it's bad. And it is a fairly basic movie, not in a bad way by any means. It's about a woman who is like maybe early 20s. Her name's Haley, I believe. The only reason I remember that is because that's my daughter's name. But she lives in Florida, and she was supposed to get a swimming scholarship to college, but she turned it down or something. She's a good swimmer. That's her thing. And her sister calls her and says, "Hey, there's a Category 5 hurricane coming to your area of Florida. You need to dip out." And she says, "Okay, I'm going to go get Dad and get us out of here." Because her dad is stubborn and she knows that he did not evacuate with everybody. So she goes to his house. And she gets there, and the whole area is evacuated. There's already floodwater, not a ton, but there's already like building water on the street. And so she goes in the house. The dog is still there, but she can't find her dad. She looks everywhere. The dog starts scratching at the basement, so she goes down there. And then I can't remember if it's a basement and then a sub crawl space, but either way, it takes place in the crawl space. That's why it's called Crawl. It takes place in the crawl space. I was literally wondering, like, why is it called Crawl? I guess because alligators crawl. But that's, so spoilers, it involves alligators. One of my favorite animals, honestly. But this is made of plastic. Don't. But, so she goes down there, and her dad's calf is fucked up. It's bad. And she says, "What happened?" He said, "There's an alligator down here." And she goes, "That's impossible." And he goes, "No, I promise you, that's what did this." And then like 2 minutes later, you see this alligator, and it's pretty big. It's above average size for sure. And so it becomes her trying to get her dad out of this basement, out of this crawl space. I'm so happy that clicked. And then it turns out there's actually two alligators down there because they get away from one of them and then another one shows up. And so they're like, well, crap, okay. And water at this point is starting to rise. The crawl space was already tight anyway. So they get up and water's starting to rise more into the house. And they quickly realize, like, we need to stay above this water level so that we aren't prey to these things. And these gators aren't being malicious. They're being alligators. They're territorial, and their territory is either being relocated or expanding. And so they're just acting like alligators. They might be a little more aggressive than typical alligators would be, but it is a movie. And so they're in the house, and they're climbing up to the main floor. She gets her, I'm pretty sure, foot and ankle bitten by one of these gators. And they act like it's a big deal for like 2 minutes. And then she's just running around on it. Like, it doesn't faze her anymore. And I guess you could say like adrenaline took over. Adrenaline's not fixing your bones. It's the only like big problem I have with this movie is she just shakes off being bitten. And she gets like alligator death rolled by this thing. And she just shakes it off. She just like, oh, whatever. I have to save my dad, whatever. And before too long, the water level is now on the second story of the house. And they hear on a radio, I think, that there are rescue pontoons coming around and there are helicopters coming around to rescue people that are stuck in these houses. And there's another part. It's really quick. And it's these two people are looting because everyone's evacuated. They're looting this convenience store. They're trying to steal this ATM machine. And they become gator food very quickly. And it's just to establish the world for you, to show you how many gators there are. Because it shows an above shot. And it looks like you're looking down into like a koi pond. There's gators everywhere. There's small ones. There's regular sized ones. And to put it in perspective, like I said, there's tons of them, and this is supposed to be a replica of an average-sized alligator head. They don't play. Like, they're gonna get you. I might try to keep this here the rest of this video, if it'll balance. But they end up taking those burglars' boat. They have a motorboat. Now I think her dad's boat is ruined, or just won't start, or whatever. It's a horror movie. So they steal these people's boat, and they go to a different area, and they go into a different house. This boat gets blown by a wave caused by the flood into another house, and now they're surviving in this house. The dad, I should have said at the front of this that it's spoilers, but I think I said yesterday that they're pretty much going to be all spoilers for these reviews, because I don't know how else to talk about horror movies. But they get blown into this house. The dad loses his arm, like from here down. It gets bitten right here, and then the gator pulls this way, and it like snaps the bottom of his arm off. So there's that now. And they just keep climbing and keep surviving and keep fighting. And they get to the roof, and a helicopter shows up and saves them, and the credits roll. It wraps up so fast. There is a part where she has to swim from the dad's boat to the other boat in the gators, like through the gator water to get to the other boat, which is really stressful. The whole movie's really stressful, and it's weirdly believable, because you could believe that like there was a big flood in Florida and all the gators got pushed out of the Everglades into like a cul-de-sac and just caused havoc. Yeah, like if I heard that on the news, especially in the year of 2020, I would not be surprised. But I really like Crawl. I don't think it's the best alligator-themed horror movie. It might be better than Lake Placid. I like Lake Placid a lot. I have a lot of nostalgia tied to it. I will probably say Crawl is better than that, but it's still, there's another gator film. They might be crocodiles, but I'm putting on the same category. But it's called Rogue, or Rouge, however you want to pronounce it, Rogue, and it is about crocodiles in Africa, or one crocodile in Africa. I can't remember exactly, but it is to crocs/gators what Jaws is for sharks. Rogue is amazing. If I can find it to watch it for this month, I'll probably review it too. But Crawl is fine. I don't own it. If I see it on sale, I'll probably buy it, because I don't mind it whatsoever. I recommend it to people all the time when they want just like a fun, fast horror movie. It's only like maybe an hour and 40 minutes long. I should have looked it up before I started. But it's fine. It's not bad in the slightest. It's pretty basic, like I said. There's nothing supernatural in it besides her insanely fast healing ankle. But that's like I said, that's the most far-fetched thing in this, is she gets gator rolled and she just doesn't care. She's just up and running again within like 10 minutes. That took me out of it a little bit, but I put it aside because I was having fun. I'm myself very hydrophobic, so the rising water in the house was freaking me out just as much as there was alligators. So if I was in that scenario and there weren't alligators, I'd be freaking out. But the fact that there are alligators, yeah, it's pretty stressful. But for me, I had a lot of fun. That's what I watch movies for. It's not a tour de force. It's not going to win any awards. I don't think it did win any awards. I need to go. I will personally give Crawl, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I might watch it again with friends, but I don't know if I'll watch it again by myself. But like I said, if I see it on Blu-ray somewhere for like $5, $6, $7, $8, I'll buy it. I'll put it on my shelf. It's fun. Like I said, it surprised the hell out of me. I thought it was going to be just a schlocky, basically sci-fi original horror movie. And it surprised me. I expected it to be like a 3 out of 10. Instead, it's like a 7 out of 10. So it gets the Yeti Roosevelt stamp of approval. But that's all I got for this one. This is starting to hurt. So until next time, guys, peace.